Every time I've been on YouTube over the past couple of weeks, I have been shown films about tempera paint sticks. And if you don't know what those are, there's a box of them. And of course, once you've watched one tempera paint stick film, they show you another and another. And resistance was futile. So I've ordered some and received them. Tempera paint sticks are for children. They are supposed to be a mess-free way to get them painting. But all these films I've been watching have been of artists saying, these are brilliant fun in sketchbooks. Whoa, these are great for mixed media. So resistance was futile. Yes, I ordered a box of 30. These ones are from Shuttle Art. This is their classic set with a few neons, a few metallics and classic paint sticks. Well, yeah, resistance is futile, so I also ordered 20 pastel set that I spotted because I thought, well, in for a penny, in for a pound. These are cheap and cheerful art supplies, but if they're half as good as all those artists were saying, I am going to have a pile of fun. My name's Liz Chaderton. I'm a watercolour artist based in Berkshire. Every week I share tips and tricks that I wish I'd known about ages ago. I love to review new art materials and to experiment. So this week I'm going to experiment with tempera paint sticks. What I want to do for you is swatch them out so you can see them, give you some ideas of how you might use them, and then show you my first couple of experiments, which are in my little round journal, which I haven't done for ages. So I did this very quick spread, and then because I had so much fun, I did this very quick spread too. As you can see, I've already swatched them out on white to see what they look like, and they go on beautifully. Because I like to play with transparency and opacity, I thought I would try them on a darker surface so that we could see how opaque they are. First of all, let's look at them. They're washable, it is a child's supply, but hey, as artists, we should be willing to release the inner child. And look at the colours on those. So these are paint sticks, and very similar to, I don't know, a lipstick or a glue stick. The paint inside is the same colour as the outside. You twist the bottom and the paint comes out in a solid stick, and they are supposed to stop kids getting too messy while they're painting. Well, frankly, I think you should get messy while you paint, but that's me. So they're washable, they are water soluble, but they dry really quickly, and they are meant to paint on paper, wood, glass, ceramics and canvas. This set, just in case you're interested, cost £16.99 from Amazon in the UK, and the pastel set cost £13.99. Let's swatch them out. This is actually a piece of mount board, but I thought it would be quite interesting to see, with a dark background, it would let us really judge whether they are opaque or transparent or whatever. So I'm just going to put little swatches of them down. So they're just like a lipstick, and the brightness of some of these colours, if they're not fully opaque, will be affected by the green of this background. It's super creamy. It feels like painting with a lipstick actually. And there's just all sorts of yummy colours. Yeah, they're not totally opaque. I can see the green through some of them, but I don't think that's bad, you know. Once I've done this, and we'll have a look at that. See, that shows up really well. I guess green on green, you'd expect it to look good. Anyway, once I've done this, we'll have a look at what media can go over the top, because I'm anticipating using these for sort of mixed media work and sketchbook work, and maybe even sketching out and about work, as well as things like my journal and experiments there. For me, it's going to be important to think how I can use them. Put that out of the way. And what media will go on top, what media will not work nicely together. That's quite opaque, isn't it? That sort of burnt sienna. And this is the, look how opaque that white is. That'll be useful. Now these are the metallics, and these are considerably less opaque. These on this dark background, you know, they're not bad, but oh, that gold's a bit disappointing on a dark background, isn't it? That bronze is quite nice. Expect the neons. Yeah, neons are quite transparent, as you might expect, but they're still not bad. So those are the classic colours. They don't have any pigment information. There is no colour light fastness information. You do not expect any of that. So I would say this is very much for sketchbook and playing. This is not for finished artwork. But look at the colours. I don't think I did those quite in the same order. But just look at the difference being on the white background and being on the coloured background. Some of them, you know, that white is very good. That's the white. I had to put a square around it because white on white you can never see. That white is great. So that is very opaque. And there's some lovely rich dark colours. This blue is particularly nice. This is exciting. Actually, I guess the pastels might be more opaque than the classics. Let's say they are all non-toxic, which is good, especially for kids. We're non-toxic and acid-free. The colours of those, they're like sugared almonds. Again, beautifully opaque. I wish you could feel these because they are just so creamy. Lovely range of pastel blues, and then we're going into the, oh gosh, look at that one. Isn't that lovely? White and that purple are probably the most opaque so far. Pop those there. And let's grab these sort of more, the greens and the earthy colours. I reckon you could do some great landscape sketches with these. So I really do anticipate using these both for sort of mixed media, journal playing in the studio, but also maybe out and about sketching, because, well, we'll see in a moment, they dry incredibly quickly. It's not like using oil pastels that stick the pages of your book together, or chalk pastels that smudge everywhere. The pastel set on the white, which is a beautiful range. I really like these sort of earthy tones here. That's how they look on a coloured ground. That was the last one I did. And can you see it's dry now? And fresh. Yeah, when it's fresh, you can actually smudge it. It's dry, it doesn't smudge. Brilliant. And well, what was that? Less than a minute? Let's look at layering. So oh yes, you can. So you can blend those while they're wet. But do go over the top of each other and stay pretty separate too. And that was immediate. And I guess if you just waited a second, yeah, then they would go over the top of the once they're dry. And grab hopefully a clean brush and some water. Okay, so it is water soluble, but on this paper, it might be different on watercolour paper. You still can sort of see where you put the initial strokes. So it is not fully water soluble. I've never used gelatos from Faber-Castell, but people tell me that they are really water soluble. Those not so much. If you wanted to, you could maybe just pick up the colour, yeah, and then paint with it as a watercolour. That would be another way of using them, I think. So what have we got? We've got layering, blending, dissolving. What else might we use them? What about putting them through a stencil? Oh, look at that. Oh yeah, that works well, doesn't it? So stencil and blending is good. What about, I don't know, just a damp finger for blending? Oh, that's pretty cool. See where there's still some purple on there. So if I then went over with a damp finger, we could do that sort of stenciling as well. Wonder if you've got a thick application, whether you can pick up some of that paint and then, oh yes you can, and then paint with it. So if you've got a thick area, yeah, you could just pick up the colour and paint with it. Wonder whether you can scratch through it. Yes, you can. I guess it again will very much depend on what paper you're on. I've scratched away the blue and it reveals the brown underneath, which is rather fun. So if I use this sample sheet, let's see what will go over it. Just an ordinary HB pencil. Let's go on the classics. Yeah, that seems to go over. I wonder how it is with the metallic. Yeah, that seems to work well. Let's try a fine liner. Oh, good. So the fine liner goes over that really well. I'm just going to try absolutely everything. This is Lumicolour, which is like felt pen fine liner. Yeah, that works over there. Let's just try a metallic, because I just wonder whether that would be shiny. Pencil. What's that? Faber-Castell Polychromos. Oh, happy days. Pencil goes over the top. Let us try a Crayola pencil. So something. Oh, I wasn't expecting that to go over. I was going to say something kind of cheap and cheerful. What's this? This is an unnamed pencil. Ah, that's not so good. That's on blank paper. These are leaves, by the way, in case you wondered. It's okay, but not so good. This is a charcoal pencil. Oh, nothing. So that's what it's like on plain paper. That was the metallic purple. No, that's not showing up at all. This is an ordinary ballpoint pen. Yep, that works. And over, what was that? The neon, wasn't it? Gel pens. Oh, these are so old. Oh yeah, they do work. Ah. Again, no. Gel pen not. Oh, that's a shame. This is a woody. If you don't know about woodies, they're wonderful. Again, a child's art material, but brilliant fun. I need a paler one to give it. Oh yeah, that goes over really nicely. Try acrylic markers. Shake as always. Oh, that's very happy. Just before I do pastels, because I think I'm going to have to go and find some. These are just watercolour pencils. Oh, that goes over, that feels nice over there. So these watercolour pencils go over really nicely. Let's just try, these are pastel pencils. Oh, it doesn't matter what colour, does it? Oh, that's a shame. No, doesn't go over at all. And I've got some oil pastels. Okay, oil pastels will go over easy peasy. I tried that charcoal pencil, but I thought, let's try real charcoal. Okay, real charcoal. Sorry, that was stupid putting it black on black. Yeah, real charcoal would work. I'm a nightmare with real charcoal. I just get covered. And then I've got some artist pastels. Let's see. So the pastel pencils didn't. But ordinary pastels do. Well, I really can't think of any other dry media that I'd want to put over this. We've tried acrylics, pencils, pens. No, I think that has given us, I hope, a good idea. So having swatched them out on darker and lighter surfaces, different roughness of surfaces, having experimented with what will go over the top and what won't, what we need to do is put it into practice and see how it might work. And spoiler alert, this is the spread that I've done in my little round journal. I am feeling in need of a bit of colour therapy, I think. So I am going to choose all sorts of pinks and oranges. There is not going to be anything subtle about this page. I love how these go on, so creamy. They just feel beautiful and they layer over each other. But what I'm going to do as a starter, oh, I'm not sure about that yellow. No, I think, well, pinks and oranges, that's what I said, didn't I? So, quickly rectify that. I thought I would try all the different sort of techniques with them and see what happens. So I'm doing a rough background. I'm going to then add some water. This is watercolour paper in this journal. It's horrible watercolour paper, which is why I used it to make the journal. But I reckon we could put water on this and smush it all together. See how it mixes and see if we can get some nice sort of watercolour effects. See how it moves but doesn't totally shift. I mean, these are water soluble, but they're not ridiculously water soluble. Not that being very water soluble is ridiculous. But I'm just saying, don't expect them to shoot around like fine watercolours. We just have to keep remembering that this is actually a child's. We just need to remember that this is a child's painting material, so expecting it to behave like a fine artist material sadly is unrealistic. There's a background and a half for us. Okay, let's try all. So that's our sort of dissolved watercolour type technique. Now let's try stenciling with it. So I'll do different colour. Different colour stenciling in different places to see how well it layers. So let's smush that with my finger. Oh, that's quite nice, I think. Let's just grab a little bit of water as well. See what that looks like. Oh, isn't that pretty? Let's try that somewhere else. Wonder how the neons layer, because I think they're rather more transparent. So let's sort of go over a bit, see what happens. That should slightly gone under, but I don't mind that. So a little bit more neon here. So I think what happens is that these are so soft and creamy, they're catching on the side of the, what's that called, stencil. What I would like to do is see how that white goes on top of this. Maybe I'll use another stencil. See how that goes, moving it around. That's quite subtle, isn't it? But subtle is not bad. What I would quite like to do is try the layering with other media on top and see what will actually work on top of these. So I'll just let those dry for a couple of minutes. I might go and wash my fingers. So there's the final page. I will stop here, but we saw that you can get sort of watercolory effects by merging it with water. It layers on top and you get different levels of sort of opaqueness and opacity, which is great. Really liked using the stencil and squidging it through there and moving it around. That was nice. We can see that different media go on top of it in different ways. Pencils seem to need to be a better quality to write on top of it. And then the acrylic pens work really nicely on top too. So live a colourful life and have a lot of fun with your tempera sticks.